A Taylor Swift-themed dance class should have been a joyful celebration of music and movement. Instead, it became the setting for unimaginable horror when Axel Muganwa Rudakubana, armed with a 20-inch blade, unleashed a premeditated act of violence that left 3 young girls dead and 10 others wounded. What led this 18-year-old to commit such a horrific crime, and how did the system fail to prevent it?
He knew that there was to be a Taylor Swift-themed yoga and dance workshop where very young girls, mostly aged between 6 and 11, were to enjoy an organised party safely in an upstairs room where the organisers were to look after him. There were 26 children in the party, all of them happy and enjoying themselves. It started at about 9:30 that morning on a warm summer's day, but he had targeted those very young children for the horrific, extreme violence he was intent upon.
On a warm evening in July 2024, a community in Southport, England, gathered for a Taylor Swift-themed dance class, an event designed to bring joy and camaraderie. Among the attendees were children excited to dance to their favorite songs. But the night turned into a nightmare when 18-year-old Axel Muganwa Rudakubana stormed the venue armed with a 20-inch blade he had purchased online. His attack was swift, brutal, and indiscriminate. By the time it was over, 3 young girls lay dead, and 10 others were left with serious injuries, some of which would alter their lives forever. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic and terrifying, with parents and instructors desperately trying to shield the children from harm. Police arrived quickly, arresting Rudakubana at the scene, but the damage had already been done. The investigation into Rudakubana's motives revealed a chilling premeditation. Authorities searched his home and found an arsenal of weapons, including knives, archery arrows, and a jar of ricin, a deadly poison 6,000 times more toxic than cyanide. On his devices, investigators uncovered a PDF titled Military Studies in the Jihad Against Tyrants, the Al-Qaeda Training Manual. Rudakubana's internet history further painted a grim picture of his violent inclinations, with searches and downloads related to weapons, mass killings, and extremist ideologies. Perhaps most unsettling was the fact that Rudakubana had been on the radar of authorities long before the attack. Between 2019 and 2021, he had been referred to the UK's Prevent program, a counter-terrorism initiative designed to identify and intervene with individuals at risk of radicalization. However, despite 3 separate referrals, Prevent repeatedly closed his case, deeming him not to be aligned with any specific ideology. Critics argue this oversight allowed Rudakubana's dangerous interests to escalate unchecked, culminating in the deadly attack. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. A forthcoming review of Prevent is expected to scrutinize the program's handling of his case, raising broader questions about the effectiveness of counterterrorism efforts in identifying and stopping potential threats. In January 2025, Rudakubana pleaded guilty to 16 offenses, including the murders, attempted murders, production of ricin, and possession of a terrorist manual.
This is my sentence for Axel Rudakubana. Accordingly, I pass sentence in his voluntary absence, whilst his counsel, both leading and junior, and solicitor are present in court. In sentencing, I will impose concurrent sentences, meaning they will all be served at the same time. However, I will treat the murder offences in counts 1 to 3 as the lead offences and take into account all of the total offending when fixing the minimum term of custody he must serve. The guilty pleas will allow some small discount on the sentence because they were entered so late on the first day of the trial. Accordingly, I firstly reduce the sentence to 30 years for his age and 27 years for the guilty plea, leading to a minimum term of 18 years on each of counts 4 to 11 concurrently. For counts 4 to 11, I increase the sentence to 30 years before reducing it to 27 years for age and to 24 years for guilty plea, leading to a minimum term on those 2 counts of 16 years concurrently.
The court sentenced him to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 52 years. The sentencing brought some solace to the victims' families, but the scars of that night remain. Communities mourn the loss of innocent lives while grappling with the haunting reality that the tragedy could have been prevented. In the wake of the attack, the UK government announced new measures to regulate the online sale of knives, including mandatory photo ID verification at both purchase and delivery. These reforms aim to close loopholes that allowed individuals like Rudakubana to acquire deadly weapons with ease. The Taylor Swift-themed dance class, once a symbol of lighthearted joy, is now remembered as the site of one of Southport's darkest days. The tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the need for vigilance, effective intervention programs, and robust regulations to prevent acts of mass violence. For the victims' families, the pain is a daily reality, but they continue to honor their loved ones by advocating for changes that could save others. The Southport community, though shaken, has found strength in unity, vowing to remember the innocent lives lost and to never let such a tragedy happen again. This story, grounded in fact, highlights not only the devastating impact of Rudakubana's actions, but also the systemic failures that allowed his dangerous trajectory to escalate. It underscores the urgent need for reform in counterterrorism efforts and weapons regulations to protect vulnerable communities from senseless violence. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos.